Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new update.
Ever have an embarrassing moment when you're alone in the room with another person and there's that awkward silence between you? Well, you don't have to worry about experiencing anything like that anymore. Because now, you can use any of these cool facts as an icebreaker. Facebook once created 2 AI chatbots that could talk to each other. But this experiment had to be shut down soon after the chatbots started to communicate in a language no one but them could understand. Coffee taster Gennaro Policia works for Costa Coffee and has his tongue insured for $13 million. The man states that his taste buds are crucial for his profession, since they allow him to pick out thousands of flavors. Well, I'll bet tongues are wagging about this. If you want to express irony or sarcasm in your message, you can use a special punctuation mark, which looks like a backward question mark. Maybe draw it out for them. You know, back when dinos were roaming our planet, volcanoes were still erupting on the moon. Not sure of the connection here, but hey, try it. When Queen Elizabeth visited the set of Game of Thrones, she refused to sit on the now legendary chair. Apparently, the Queen just can't sit on any throne she likes. Foreign thrones are off-limits, even if it's only fictional. According to the 2010 census, Monowi, a small town in Nebraska, has a population of 1. The only female inhabitant of the place is the mayor, librarian, and bartender all at once. Hey, give me another drink, Your Honor, along with that book. In 2006, a worker of the Coca-Cola Company was trying to sell the newest development of her employer to one of its main competitors, Pepsi. But Pepsi responded by informing Coca-Cola about the incident. Yep, when it comes to the law, never violate a writ of habeas corpus. The Canadians are so polite and say sorry so often that the country has passed a law stating that an apology can't be considered as an admission of guilt in court. Sorry about that. Researchers have discovered that mysterious Pacific sleeper sharks live in an underwater volcano called Cavachi, not far from the Solomon Islands. To learn more about them, scientists have to send in robots because people can't stand the heat and acidity of the environment. Crocodiles are unlucky animals which can't stick their tongues out because they're attached to the roofs of their mouths. But the alligators, the closest relatives of crocodiles, can do it without any problems. In 2009, Stephen Hawking organized a party for time travelers. But he didn't announce the event in advance to make sure that each person who arrives at the party is really from the future. Unfortunately, no time travelers turned up. If you heat a magnet up to 176 degrees Fahrenheit, it'll lose its magnetism. Well, that's not very attractive. Sunflowers can clean radioactive soil. That's why the Japanese government has given more than 10,000 packages of sunflower seeds to the inhabitants of Fukushima and asked them to grow them. Ever wonder why bananas are curved? No. It's because instead of growing toward the ground, they grow toward the sun. This means they have to fight against gravity, which explains the fruit's curved shape. In 2016, a huge swarm of 20,000 bees was following a woman's car for 2 days in a row because their queen was trapped inside. When the woman parked the car on the first day, the bees immediately got inside and beekeepers had to get them out. But the next day, the bees returned because the queen was still stuck inside. More than 75% of the world's food is made from only 5 animal species and 12 plants. And although people know about 250,000 to 300,000 edible plants, they use only 150 to 200 of them. Picky. If you cut down a saguaro cactus in Arizona, the chances are high that you'll spend the next 25 years of your life in jail. And that can get a little prickly. While hunting, stoats, which are weasel-like mammals, jump, spin, twist, and perform crazy tricks to attract rabbits' attention. Such movements hypnotize rabbits, allowing the stoats to get close enough to attack. When movie trailers first appeared, they were shown after the movie finished. That's actually the reason why they were called trailers. But since the audience rarely stayed to watch them till the end, making them ineffective, they started to show them before the movie. Squids and octopuses have beaks. These beaks are made of keratin, just like your fingernails or birds' beaks. The average man gets bored after 26 minutes of shopping, while the average woman can spend 2 hours on the same activity until she feels like giving up. The first motel in the world was opened in 1925 in San Luis Obispo. At that time, you had to pay $1.25 for a bungalow with 2 rooms, a kitchen, and a private garage. Oh, the times! You think they'll offer that same price to celebrate their 100th anniversary coming up in 2025? Nope, they closed in 1991. As research shows, Americans don't think that millionaires who own only $1 million are wealthy. To be considered rich, a millionaire should have at least $2.4 million. Really. Approximately 40% of all the gold ever mined on Earth has come from one place, Witwatersrand Plateau in South Africa. It's the richest gold field ever discovered. Sea otters, especially moms and their pups, sleep holding each other's hands so they don't drift away from each other at night. And if a sea otter doesn't have anyone to hold on to, it just wraps itself in kelp. Aww. The Milky Way galaxy, which is our home galaxy, is 105,700 light-years wide. How astonishing is that? Considering 1 light-year is the distance which light covers in a year, moving at a speed of more than 186,000 miles per second. You do the math. Although very small and fragile, ladybugs emit a unique smell we humans are super sensitive to. Lions can roar 25 times louder than a working gas-powered lawnmower, and you can hear their roar from 5 miles away. If you hear a lion roar from any closer, I'd get out of there. With more than 1,200 tornadoes every year, the U.S. has the largest number of tornadoes in the world. But Britain, surprise surprise, is the country that experiences the most tornadoes per square mile. Hey, what do you call that? A Brit twister? Leave your vote down in the comments. Venus and Mercury are the only planets in the solar system that don't have any moons. In total, there are 176 moons orbiting the planets of our solar system, with some of them being even bigger than Mercury itself. Pirates didn't wear earrings to look pretty, but because they believed it protected them from bad eyesight, blindness, seasickness, and even drowning. Also, they used to call them "arr" rings. No, I made that up. The mountains on Venus are covered with a snow-like metal similar to frost. Icebreaker? Maybe. The first alarm clock was invented in 1787, but it could only ring at 4 a.m. It took several decades to create an alarm clock that could go off at the time you needed. The Sun weighs approximately 330,000 times more than Earth. Plus, it's so huge that you could fit our planet inside of it 1,300,000 times. And think of this. The Sun contains 99.85% of all the mass in our solar system. One of Saturn's moons, Enceladus, has such an icy surface that it reflects more than 90% of the Sun's light. That's the reason why this moon is incredibly cold, minus 394 degrees Fahrenheit. In Silicon Valley, there's a statue of Nikola Tesla, a Serbian-American engineer and inventor. This statue radiates free Wi-Fi as an homage to Tesla's vision of wireless communication. Now, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland. Since these animals are very social, being alone is considered to be bad for their health. Your sense of smell makes up 80% of your sense of taste. That's why if your nose is stuffy, an onion, a potato, and an apple will taste the same to you. Not only people can be left or right-handed, it turns out that the majority of female cats use mostly their right paw, while males are likely to be left-pawed. My paw could use either hand. Tic Tacs got their name because of the sound they made while being tossed around in their plastic container. The highest mountain in the solar system that people know about is Olympus Mons on Mars. Its peak reaches 16 miles high, which makes the monstrosity 3 times taller than Mount Everest. Plus, the Martian mountain occupies a huge territory of about 120,000 square miles, which is even bigger than the state of Arizona. Almost 95% of people prefer to text things they don't have the courage to say in person. Cowards. A bolt of lightning can get 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun and reach a temperature of 53,540 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey, I got a thermometer, let's measure it. Kangaroos can't hop if their tail is lifted off the ground. Apparently, they use this mighty appendage for balance, and once they can't use it, they just fall over. And that's your tail tip for the day. Now, do you have a habit of buying too many books, piling them up in your house, and never reading them? The Japanese have a special word for that – tsundoku. Your brain fibers lose almost 10% of their total length every 10 years. And if you get extremely stressed, they can shrink even more. Hey, I like that excuse. Snakes can help people predict earthquakes. They can not only feel an approaching natural disaster from almost 75 miles away, but also sense it up to 5 days before it happens. Wow, there's a whole lot of snaking going on. In their lifetime, the average person will walk about 110,000 miles, which is equivalent to almost 5 times around the planet. Then they have to find their way back home. On April 18, 1930, a BBC radio announcer honestly said, "There is no news." Instead, piano music was playing during that uneventful day. Boy, if only they'd do that now. Nepal has the most mathematical flag in the world. Even better, the country has a separate article in its constitution which describes the steps of drawing such a flag. Finally, this bonus. The term icebreaker comes from the technique used on the Titanic in the first-class section to help the rich and famous start conversations among themselves without much effort. No, I actually made all that up, but you can still use it, really. You'll probably even get a laugh from a perfect stranger, which counts as a twofer. Hey, if you learned something new today, then give the video a like and share it with a friend. And here are some other videos I think you'll enjoy. Just click to the left or right, and remember, stay on the bright side of life.